Hey, welcome to this video. My name is Asiel, and today we're going to learn about custom hooks in React. I have an example prepared for you where we're going to add some logic to a component and then refactor it out to a hook that we'll create. You'll see how easy it is and how clean our component will look like at the end. I think it's not only about learning to create custom hooks, but also to put yourself in a position where it's a good idea to use them and see the actual benefit. If you're new to the channel, I encourage you to subscribe. Not only does it help the channel, but you won't be missing any future video that may interest you. And with that said, let's get started. Here's the component we're going to be looking at. It's called signup, and it is essentially a form. It's just a form, which in H2, it says sign up, and it has 3 input fields. The first one is for the email, the second one is for the password, and the last one is to confirm password. And I'm going to add the logic here for the unchange of the email, password, and confirm password, and the unsubmit here, as you would typically do it for a React application. So I'm going to go ahead and import the useState hook. And I'm going to assume you're familiar with the useState hook already since you're looking at custom hooks. Let me go ahead and use that. So I'm going to do const fields, set fields. And then I'm going to have initial state, just an empty object. Instead of having one useState per input field, fields is going to have all the values of them. So fields is going to contain the email, the password, and confirm password. Every time they type on any of those fields, we're going to update our fields value. So we'll have to implement a handle change. So let me write that. So I'm going to do const handle change. And it's going to take an event. And in here, I'm going to do a console log just to let you see how this works. And I'm going to say event name, just so that we know what's printing. So I'm going to do event.target name. So I want to print the target name. And then I'm going to do value. And I'll do event.target.value. Let me hook up this handle change now. So if I scroll down a little bit here, on input, I can do on change and then do handle change. And I'm going to copy this and I'm going to put it here as well. And on this input as well. Next thing I gotta do is specify the name. So I'm gonna do name. This could be an ID or anything like that as well. It doesn't have to be name. So I'm gonna do name and I'm gonna say this is the email. This is a password. And this is confirm password. Now just to show you a little demo, as we start typing the email, let's say I do your email, you can see that we have email and we have value. Let's do password. Let's say my password. We can see here the event name is password and value is my password. Same for confirm password, so we can do my password. Okay, so we know we're getting the name correctly and the value. So let's actually call the set fields now. So we can do set fields. It's going to be an object, and we're going to keep fields as is. And then we're going to do event.target.name. It's going to be equal to event.target.value. So now essentially every time we call handle change, we're going to pass in the event. We're going to set the fields. We're going to keep the fields the same and just update this part. We're going to say the event.target.name is going to be having a value and whatever value we pass it in. And now that we have the fields, let's actually implement a handle submit. So we can do const handle submit. This is going to take an event. And I'm going to say console.log, and I'll say submitting, and I'll say fields. And I'm going to add event.prevent default. That way the page doesn't reload. And let's hook it up. So we can do on submit, we're just going to call the handle submit. And we're back at the browser, and I have filled up the email as well as passwords. So if I click on submit now, we're going to have submitting, which is a console log we added, and it says confirm password, email, and password. So this way we know everything is working correctly. Okay, so we have reached a point where our component is working properly. We have the component itself, which is showing the email password, confirm password, as well as some logic into it. We have the handle change and handle submit. With this current setup, let's say we're going to add another form, let's say for a sign-in page. So if we do a sign-in page, we'll have to copy over this variable over there to that component, as well as the handle change, and maybe the handle submit, depending on how we implement that. So not very reusable, and the component is not very clean as if we were to use custom hooks. And you'll see how that looks in a second. Essentially, building our custom hook will let us extract component logic into a reusable function. A custom hook is essentially a JavaScript function that can call other hooks. And for that to actually happen and to work, the function needs to start with use. Pretty much the same as the use in useState and the use in useEffect. Let's go ahead and create our custom hook. So I'm going to right click on source, and I'm going to do new file, and I'm going to call it useFormFields.js. And I'm going to go back to sign up, and I'm going to pretty much copy all this thing and paste it here, as well as I'm going to copy this real quick, import and paste it here. So I'm going to do export const use form fields. See how I'm using the use right here in the front or at the beginning. And then I'm going to put all this stuff inside. So pretty much the same code we had before. So we have our use state, our handle change, handle submit. So all we got to do now is return here. We can do return, handle change, handle submit. This way, some other component can use it. So if I go back here, I'm going to delete all this stuff now. And I'm going to delete this one. And instead, I'm going to import use form fields from use form fields. We can go ahead and use it now. So we can do const handle change handle submit equal to use form fields. So now we are using the custom hook we created. We are pulling the handle change and handle submit. And the cool thing about it is that now, even if we create some other form, say for sign in, and we want to reuse the handle change, we can do that because we can just use the use form fields and pull out the handle change and just do that. So it's very reusable. And if we now look at our component, we can see how much cleaner it is from before. There's not a lot of logic going on here. And if we know that something is wrong and we come to this component and we see, okay, we have handle change here, handle submit, and that's implemented inside the use form fields. This is our custom hook, and we can just go in there and debug and do whatever we need to do. Let's do a quick submit, make sure it still works. Submitting, and we can see submitting, and we see the email, password, and confirm password. And that's all I have for this video. Writing custom hooks is not too hard. I think it's more a matter of finding the right case for when to use it to make your life easier. Keep making progress and getting better every single day. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you all on the next one.